Well, I'm back for another rainy day video. It's raining again. It's supposed to rain the next 2 days. Rivers flooded over the banks, can't do anything. You can see the driveway's flooded there. I can hear the creek rushing down there. And it's just a little tiny stream, but I can hear it all the way up here. It's about a quarter mile down there. So I had a lot of inquiries in a group about my home that I built. Geodesic Dome enthusiast, so I thought I'd give you a little tour around, just something to show off on this rainy day, I guess. So let's take a look. This originally was going to be my carport. I was going to make another dome. You see that in some of the pictures, but after building the house, I was like, no way. This took me 3 years just to build the house. And that's working after work on it every evening. All of my bricks here for the sidewalk, and I'll show you my masonry heater inside also, were taken from the streets of Sistersville, where they would repair water pipes and they never put the bricks back. They just threw asphalt over it and threw the bricks over the hill. So I went and collected up as many as I could and made the sidewalk, masonry heater, and I used them here and there. Here are some of my nutting stones that I've found in recent videos, the last few videos. This really nice one. Really nice. Holes all over it. This one only had one hole, but it was a big stone, so it was pretty cool. And I really like this one the most. It's got 2 little holes here or there, and I showed you that before, and this little mortar place in the top. Very unique stone, huge heavy stone. Also over here I've saved all the ones from the honey hole over the summer. Several nice ones came out of there. Several nice ones. I save them all and put them here in the rock garden around the house. Hopefully I'll be able to fill all the way around the house, but that'd take a lot of years of looking. So let's go inside. I'll give you a little look. All handmade. I made the door also. Cedar shakes. Shingled the whole thing. Took like 4 weeks for me. No, it was longer than that. I can't even remember how long it took to shingle this roof. But it was a nightmare, and I hope I never have to do it again. So let's go inside. I think some of you have already seen the house, but I'll give you a little show here. I hope there's enough light in here. This is my masonry heater, and you'll see pictures of this on the end, the closing music. Also, all with my hometown street bricks that I've gathered up. This has a core in it that I ordered with refractory mortar blocks, so they can take a lot more heat than normal concrete. You'll see the setup afterwards. But this is not a fireplace. This is a masonry heater. It is made to fire once or twice a day if it's really cold, which we don't really use it a lot because we have a gas heater. And believe it or not, that little gas heater on top of the fridge here heats the whole house. So we have very little gas bill. We live on the cheap out here. We don't even have cable or satellite. We just use an antenna. We get about 8 or 10 channels, all the major networks, so that's okay with us. But to explain this masonry heater, what you do is it's got a little bake oven in top of it also. You load this up with wood all the way to the top, alternating stacks, and you start the fire at the top with a little kindling and let it burn. You get you get a lot even, less smoky burn, because if you start the fire at the bottom, the logs at the top are just catching on and they'll smolder before they take off. If you start it at the top, it burns from the top down, gives it a lot cleaner, a lot more even burn. And you just give this full air, the flue wide open, and it'll sit in there and it'll just rumble and roar. And it is channeled. The flue goes up, it goes both sides, down, underneath the firebox, comes over through the damper, and then out the stack, up the top. After it burns down to coals, you shut the flue when there's no more smoke, and it will hold heat and heat the house with radiant heat. These bricks will heat up and put out radiant heat for the next 24 hours or so. And they'll stay warm for a little longer than that actually but I usually would fire it if I'm using it once a day. Here's all the bottles I dug down on the river. I've showed a lot of people this. I don't know if everybody's seen it. In that 1880s dump I found on the riverbank, along with these two crocs. You can watch that video. I think the cover image has a picture of me holding this little 1-quart crock and this little crooked one. That was really cool to find. Must have been at the end of the work day. They just wanted to get that one done. Along with my mandolins, people were asking me about that. I'm actually a amateur luthier, I guess you could say. I started building mandolins back in 2000. I haven't built one since last year, but I have a big interest in that. I love it. Here's a few that I have up on top of the masonry heater. This is my favorite. Got a signatures of going to Bluegrass Festival like Sam Bush, Dave Grissman, Ronnie McCurry. I got Rhonda Vincent, but this signature right here is my most prized, Dr. Ralph Stanley, which is no longer with us. He was the last of the old-time bluegrass artists. Great voice. I love Ralph Stanley music. Well, let's walk around here. And here I took pictures of all of the whole process, of the building process, I mean. I sat with a app that I got off of my iPhone. I downloaded on the iPhone. It's a trigonometry app. And there's a website you can go to. Can't remember, Desert Domes it might be called. You put in the diameter of the dome you want, and it will give you a little colored stick diagram like this, and it will tell you the length of each strut. There's 155 triangles in this house. But I had to sit down and think and figure out all these angles of how these 2x6 struts were going to come together. That's what I did with the app. It was a lot of figuring, a lot of sitting and rocking in the chair, just figuring out all these strut angles. But it did come together really nicely. All this stuff. And then I just started cutting the struts. So I got pictures of all this. I'll put at the end of the video, show you the steps of the process of building the home. I did everything in this home by myself except laying the concrete floor, which this whole house sits on a concrete slab. And actually that turned out really nice because in the summertime it wants to stay cooler, and in the wintertime it kind of holds heat and uses the ground warmth to keep the house warm. The whole house is spray foamed, so it's like a big cooler. It takes very little to heat and cool the home. Here is the table I built for those that didn't see this. I built this out in the workshop for the finds that I had this year. My uncle did give me some of these points. He gave me this nice cob blade, and it is just a G10 smoker. I have never seen one that nice. Tips all there. I believe that is a left-handed cobs. I'm not sure. But he gave me this Flint Ridge spade-looking point, which I believe might be a Snyder's. I'm not sure. And he gave me that Flint Ridge awl, which is really cool. It's like a hand awl with a big knob, bulky back on it. But these other points and artifacts, here's preforms, this real nice hematite paint stone, just all cubed off right there. Try to get that light out of there. My hammer and grinding stones, I got 2 pestles. This object right here was really cool. It's a piece of granite. It's pecked on the ends and it's smooth, polished all the way around. I'm assuming that was for pecking and polishing celts and hand axes. We found this little hand hoe, this adze, down at the honey hole. It's It's really cool. That really nice. There's that Indian I carved. The video was just way too long. It took a long time to carve this. I'm no master carver, but it didn't turn out too bad. That real nice small nutting stone with the overlapping deep holes in it. And all of these brooks. I'm keeping all these brooks because if I ever go and find another piece of it, I can put them back together. But all those came, well, 95% of them came from the honey hole also, as well as these Amos points and big sandies. Really cool. I got examples of different types of flint in here, and some my scrapers that I hafted in. I hafted one into a antler there, and I made a little stick for the drill there just for show, what it might have been like. All my scrapers around here, and this odd items, I've only found one piece of a gorget right there. It's polished smooth, and you can see part of a drill hole on there, so I'm assuming that was a larger gorget or something. I'll take you upstairs and show you the upstairs. I like these automatic lights in the hallway in the bathroom that just come off. This handrail actually came out of my great-grandfather's, where my grandfather grew up in the country, and I went out there. I was wanting to use them. He pulled some big creek stones out with horses that they use for sidewalks, and I wanted to get those and use for the hearth in front of my fireplace. But when I went out there, I dug down alongside of them, and the things were like 7 inches thick. There was no way I was moving those out. But I did go in the house and get a few items saved from the house, and this handrail going up the stairs was one, so I brought it out here and put it in my home. So I thought that was pretty cool. All these railings were hand cut by myself down over the hill in the woods. I shaved those down, and I bought a tenon cutter that rounds the ends. You drill a hole and you can put it together. As long as that, the same as that ladder that I built that goes up to that little crow's nest. I guess you call it the widow's watch or something. Built that. And the bed's still up there from when people stay. I'm really into antiques. I love antiques. This barber chair belonged to my grandfather's brother-in-law. Used to cut hair. The whole family, all the kids would come out on the weekends, get their hair cut. And I restored it. It was in really bad shape. I had to build a whole new base for it and a new headrest. But it turned out really nice. You can see I like antiques. I like to golf when I can too. The sword that I made. Too many hobbies, not enough time. Here's the train set I started. I haven't worked. It was kind of a Old West scene I was going for. Still got work to do on that. Here, my grandfather's bell collection that he left. Got all that. Started making a marionette, little soldier marionette. My uncle gave me this. This belonged to my great aunt. The spinning wheel was real nice. I remember as kids we used to play with this thing, put matchbox cars right here and see if we could spin them all the way around the top. I like telescopes too. I love astronomy, looking at the stars. Let's walk downstairs and I'll take you around the back and show you how I have it set up. I didn't put any rooms up here in the top. I wanted to show you these marbles. When my grandfather passed away, we moved into his house, and the corner of the floor, you know, these old houses were built on cut stones, and the corner of the floor was laying right on the dirt where it rotted away. So I had to cut part of the dirt or the floor out to fix it. And under there, I saw a marble, and I started scratching around, and I pulled all these marbles out of there. And this is just smoker marble. I don't know if you can see that on light. These are just smoker. Some of them are chipped up. Kids were playing with them, but they are, I know, pre-1920 marbles because the house was built in 1920, and there was no way you were getting up there under the house where I was at because it was right on the ground. I'll take you around the back. Not too exciting. I didn't put any rooms upstairs, so I just put all the rooms in the dog cage. one small bedroom in here where the kids stay when they come. I put the bathrooms back to back. The other bathroom's on the bedroom on the other side. You go through this laundry room, all the canned goods. Into the bedroom here. This is the master bedroom, the larger one. Along with the bathroom off of this bedroom. Several things I wanted to show and I can't really remember now, but here's this arrowhead necklace I found. It has actually darkened up. It was, when I found it in the creek, you can see that in closing of some of my videos, it was just laying flat out in the water, pink and white, but I assume after handling it and, you know, oil off your skin and everything has darkened it up over time. Now it looks like a little white, gray, and dark red. That was one of the nicest points I found. Very unique point. It took me, like I say, 3 years to build this house. Everything took just forever. This is all, like I said before, spray foamed. It's got 5.5 inches of spray foam. And this is the 1/4 inch tongue and groove pine. I debated on how to do this. I just kind of made it up as I went. I didn't, you know, I had the shell done, and then the plans changed several times as I was making the home. But I didn't know how, you know, how am I going to drywall this and use batt fiberglass insulation? It would have been a nightmare. So I went with the tongue and groove pine. It was a lot easier, but it took 4 months on scaffolding, cutting these pieces individually with a skill saw and a brad nailer, putting those up. And then I just covered the seams with furring strips and little circles. Covered the joints there out of pine. Turned out really nice. There, I have nothing up in that room. It's just, man, there's some ladybugs up there. We're infested by ladybugs and a few stink bugs every year. This, you'll see this photo also in the closing music. I took with my drone. Try and get some drone footage on some future videos down at the river. See how that turns out. And you can see it's raining outside again. Just a nightmare, and it's supposed to rain the next 3 days. I'm dying to get back down to the honey hole and see in that new area where I was at that we took all the sand off. So hopefully it didn't wash. It usually washes all the sand back in, but I don't know if it will or not. So we'll see there. And that's my geodesic dome. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I know some people were asking about it. And hopefully we can get out, do something soon when this rain stops, if it ever stops. Yeah, the ground is so saturated, every little rain you get just runs right off into the creeks, and then the river shoots straight up. But stay in there, we'll get you with the next one. Hopefully we'll find something nice. Yeah, the rain's starting to come down a little harder now. Here's this gazebo I built. I made this out of maple trees that I cut down over the hill. I was going to use maple where these 2x4s are going across to hold the cedar shakes on, but yeah, I just couldn't find enough small saplings or trees to do that, so I just used a 2x4. The bricks here are also made out of, or this fire pit's also made out of the bricks from my hometown and some of the other bricks that I had. Here's that well I was telling you about. I think I mentioned that, yeah. This is 37 foot well. It holds about This casing goes down about 20 feet, 25 feet, and then it opens up into a big hole that's rock lined. And my neighbor, there used to be a couple old houses that sit here, said that they put him, his parents put him down in there on a rope to clean that well out. And I was like, man, there is no way I would go down in that. You fall down in there, if nobody knew you were in there, there is no way you're getting out of there. We also, I have this all, like I say, we use rainwater. This will pump out every once in a while when we run out of rainwater, but we have a good supply. I put a big tank in the back, and I have it on I have a pump house over there with my well pump with a cistern under it, a plastic 1,200-gallon cistern. When it gets dry, this will automatically pump out with the solar panel and batteries. We live here on the cheap, and it's a lot better than paying all these bills in town, you know. So we try to save money like that. But I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's raining, kind of crappy out. Can't get to the river, it's all flooded, but hopefully we can get out soon and make another treasure hunting video. Several places I want to go. If I can ever get across that river on a kayak. When it calms down, I'll get over there, because I don't think anybody hunts a few places I look, and it's hard to tell what we'll find washed out, especially down there at the honey hole. I know people get tired of seeing me going there. I hope not, because there's a lot of stuff we're going to pull out of there still. And after these high waters, the water's going to go way up tomorrow again. Hopefully all that sand where we were at before in that new place will uncover some more stuff. Hopefully not all that sand didn't wash back in there, which it does a lot. The water level and the waves just keep that sand coming back in. But I hope you like this. Something a little different. It's a video. Helps get my name to the top a little bit, I guess. And all these bottles and things, like I say, you can go back and watch me find those points. You can watch me find most of those points on video. I didn't start YouTube until I found half of them down there, so I wish I had started it earlier, but we'll find some more stuff this year, and I know that place is hiding a lot more secrets, so hopefully we can find them. I'll catch you on the next one.